So I'm at my brother's game right now, and I've just been watching my favorite show like the whole time. By the way, the only reason I'm here is because I'm trying to avoid foul balls, and this is what we got so far. Now, I have no idea at all what the score is, but I'm going to expect my brother's team is losing because I have to go watch my show. My brother's team was not doing good, so they destroyed them, but here. I started watching the game like 5 minutes ago. I thought, maybe I should make a video. And so that's what I did. So just watching my brother's game, and Jackson just missed the catch. I think it was a bad throw, but who knows these days. But anyways, brother's game is underway. Probably I would say scoreboard is not working. So as you can see, so a beautiful sunrise right here. Get to watch that. And this is not what I'm going to be doing for most of my channel. But I don't know, I got him. But anyways, but just happened to fly out. For some reason, the dude on third didn't want to tag up. I will explain baseball to you guys later, but I cannot do that right now. Maybe I can. Well, I kind of want to watch baseball right now, so the Three Fools, it's summer break. We're taking a break for a little. We've been working hard. Not that much videos because the one fool, I'm now the two fool because of a lot of people quitting. I can tell you. So it was Zach and Jackson quit. Then they rejoined for like 30 minutes and then they quit again. But a lot of stuff has been happening. It's been pretty tough for us. But we've been taking a break from all this because it's summer break, and it's meant to be a school band, so we have been doing a lot of stuff lately. Actually, well, not really, because it's summer break, but at least my family has. I've gone to the pool since the day before Father's Day, which is kind of insane. This was my first day of a break. And this feels really strange right now. The inning just ended. So, anyways, that's it for today. Bye, fools.
2,000 years later. 6.5 hours later. A few inches later. Day 2, Day 3, Day 4. A few moments later. 1 eternity later. 3 days later. 12 seconds later. 3:28 a.m. 3 weeks later. Many months later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Tomorrow for sure. Eventually. 12 o'clock midnight. 1 hour later. 2 hours later. 3 hours later. 2 hours later. 8:01 p.m. the next day. later. 20 minutes later. 6 hours later. Later that same evening, several days later. 6 months later. 2 hours later. 1 minute 37 seconds later. 1 debt to society later. 4 to 6 weeks later. 1 pair of pants later. 8 hours later. 298 frozen patties later. 3 hours later. The next day, 10 seconds later, 346 minutes later, much later, 3 days later, opening night later, 3,000 years later, 3 days later, 48 hours later, 8 hours later, the following Thursday, 5 minutes later, 24 hours later, much later, much later, 7 hours later, a little longer than a few minutes later, 2 hours later, 3 days later, 15 minutes later, several months later, thousands of tears later, 16 paranoia-filled days later, 2 hours later, much later, yesterday, many hours later, 75 years later, 2 hours later, 1 extremely annoying shift later, 2 very boring minutes later, 3 hours later, 1 winner later, the following day, meanwhile, later, approximately 10 hours later, early the next morning, 1 shift later, 2 weeks later, 11 minutes later, 5 minutes later, a lot of boring math later, 24 hours later, 1 week later, 1 long angry line later, 72 hours later, 2 hours later. Just then, by sheer coincidence, the next...
Well, she finally found me, but here she comes. Okay, my mom found me. I'm screwed. But anyways, bye fools again.